Hi, it's Mark from 3D Molecular Designs. We've actually had a number of people ask questions about how to actually display their DNA, dynamic DNA model using our model stand. And so inside your box, if you buy a 12-piece or a 12 nucleotide kit, you'll actually have a base with a post that you can just put together, and you've got a platform to work on. But now is where like some confusion happens, because as you start laying these down, there's some specifics that you need to go through. So I always like to start with a CG base pair, and inside your kit you'll also have oxygen and hydrogens inside of it. So you've got a white hydrogen, you've got a red oxygen. And if you actually look, you'll have a spot where you've got an oxygen to add that hydrogen to on one side, and then if that was my C, on my G, I'm going to actually need to go up to my phosphate group. I need to cap that, so I'm going to make that happen. So those are going to be the beginnings of your base, and those are going to be the sides that go down. So those are going to be the bottoms. And the thing is when you're working with the CG base pair, that there's actually 3 hydrogen bonds that are made, and as a result you actually have 2 different spots where you can put the post through. So as we're looking at this again, these come together. What I want to do is when I'm putting this on the post, I want to look for that spot where I've got the N4 on the C and the O6 on the G. It's the short bond that happens between these. When I put these onto the post, I always want to make sure that I'm going between that gap instead of this one. So don't put the post here. Always make sure you're putting that post between that oxygen and hydrogen on the short side. And once we have that, you've got your base, and you're going to have a nice level platform to start building off of. I always like to go with an AT afterwards, because there's only one way that'll bond. And when I put that on, those magnets will link, and now as we look at this, those base pairs are going to stay nice and even. And every time you do this, you're going to end up, when you look at it, you're going to see that you have this nice flat parallel bases happening between them. So the bases are going to stack nice and neat, and between each of these rungs you're going to put 2 base pairs. So this is where the trick happens, is when you go to the next one, should I put it between the first gap or the second gap? And so this is where sometimes you just have to do a little bit of guess and check as you're doing this. So when you put them together, I make the bonds and the sugars first, and now when I come back through and I put that on the spindle, I can look and see, is it still nice, and are they parallel as far as the base stackings go, or do I have a slant in it? If you have a slant in it, you're going to have to take these apart, and you're going to have to move it to the other space that you can do it. But if you always do an alternation between 3 base, or the C and G, and then do an A and T, every time you do this, you're going to end up with a nice, beautiful display of this model when you get done. So I go AT, I go back to a CG, and now once again I'm going to make my bonds in the sugars and phosphates first, and then once I do that, it makes it a lot easier to determine which of those 2 spots. Go back to an AT. And now you can show your students the difference between the major and the minor grooves, and it just gives you a nice display or something to go back to every time you make a reference to DNA in your classroom. Always something nice to have on your desk instead of just stashing it away, although the box that it comes in is a nice way to store it. This is a nice way to display it so that you can make reference to it in your classroom. So come see us at Modeling the Molecular World this summer. Thanks so much for watching.